the scent of potpourri, the films we commit to memory. Crossing the felt ropes, watching from home on my TV, looking at all my eyes can see. They tell me I view obsessively.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of The Obsessive Viewer, a weekly podcast that ordinarily reviews 2 new or recent release titles every episode with an occasional free-for-all segment at the end that we call Potpourri. I'm your host, Matt Hurt, and you can find more of my work, including my written reviews, full episode show notes, and the complete backlog of our episodes and spinoff podcasts at obsessiveviewer.com. You can also follow me on Letterboxd and other social media platforms at the username of Obsessive Viewer. And if you'd like to support us and get access to hundreds of exclusive episodes, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer, where recently on Patreon I've been doing a project for Stephen King's The Long Walk, where I'm listening to chapters of the audiobook on Audible and then walking around while walking on trails, and then I'm recording my thoughts while walking on trails. So basically I am doing the long walk as I listen to it and recording my thoughts on the long walk. That's at Patreon. And I also have immediate reaction reviews for a House of Dynamite, Frankenstein coming up. And I also have immediate reaction recordings for the movies that I see at Heartland. Those Heartland immediate reactions are available for free to Patreon members that sign up for free membership. You get that plus a bunch of other fun free goodies. So go sign up for a free or paid membership at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. And if you want to support me without messing around with Patreon, you can always just buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/obsessiveviewer. So later in the show, I'm going to be interviewing my friend and IFJ colleague, Richard Probst, about the documentary film about his Tenderness Tour and activism called The Tenderness Tour, which is currently at Heartland Film Festival here in Indianapolis. They have their final screening is this Saturday, October 18th at 2:45 p.m. at the Indie Arts Center. Go buy tickets to that. If you're in the area, go see it. It's incredible. And if you're not in Indianapolis or not within, travel distance, you can stream the movie on at heartlandfilm.org, buy a digital ticket, and you get access to it until October 19th. That's when it goes through. But watch it before October 18th so that you can vote for it for the Audience Choice Award. So that's coming up later in this episode, my interview with Richard. First, we're going to be talking to Andie Redwine, who is the director of the documentary, and I'm very excited to share these 2 reviews, and I'm very excited for Richard and Andie, and I'm very excited for Heartland that they have this film. So get your tickets, log your letterboxes, and strap in, because we're going to be interviewing these 2 people from the Tenderness Tour currently at Heartland Film Festival. So I've already recorded them, so here we go. Here's my interview with Andie Redwine of the Tenderness Tour.
They tell me I view obsessively.
And this week on the show, this is a special episode out of Heartland Film Festival here in Indianapolis. I have a very special guest who I'm going to be talking about her feature debut documentary, I believe. The Tenderness Tour, the subject of which is my friend and IFJ colleague, Richard Probst, who is a busy man, and I'm trying to get nailed down for an interview, but I need to contact his people, he needs to contact my people. But what I've got here is the writer and director of the documentary, The Tenderness Tour, also one of the hosts of the Once Upon a Disney podcast. It's Andie Redwine. Andie, welcome to the show and congratulations on the documentary and everything. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great this afternoon, Matt. Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you. I saw the film last night And I knew I was going to love it because, I mean, I love Richard. He's amazing. I've known him for, I guess, 6 years now at this point. And one of the things, and I'm going to try not to gush too much about the film, but one of the things, one of the things I absolutely love about this documentary is that it is absolute, like you were able to capture the essence of Richard Propst in a way that everyone who knows Richard Propst knows Richard Propst in this film, and like it is just so authentically him. And I love that because he is a very, like he is a very complex guy in a lot of ways, but he has just this disposition, this kind of like viewpoint of the world that I admire, and I have admired for years. And it's so great to see that depicted with such authenticity and affection in this film. So great job.
Thank you so much. No, I've known Richard for years. I met him through Heartland. Actually, we had a film here. I think it was 2009, called may have been 2010, called Paradise Recovered. And it's about a young woman who leaves a fundamentalist cult group, and she moves in with these two hipster slackers. And it's on YouTube right now. We're trying to see if we can get that to a distribution channel.
Nice.
But I woke up one morning when I was at Heartland, and the director, it was like 5:30 in the morning, and the director, Storm Wood, texts me at like really, really early. And he's like, "Have you read The Independent Critic?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And he said, "No, you need to go read this right now. This guy gets this film."
Nice.
And he wrote and wrote and wrote about it. And it brought tears to my eyes. I mean, again, it was my first film with a writing credit. So it was like, I was a screenwriter on that one, and it just sung. And because of Richard's review, there were buyers that were interested in talking to us about the film. And the film awesome. Ended up with a 3-year Netflix deal because of it, which is totally unheard of for an indie just coming out of the gate. And it was my first experience.
Wow, so, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so Richard and I kept in touch. We both have cult backgrounds. So he grew up in the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I grew up in the Worldwide Church of God. And so, but we have a lot of overlap in our experiences with that aspect of life, I guess. And we're both a little neurospicy, we're both a little neurodivergent. So I think
all the best of us are.
Yeah. So Richard and I had this, he calls it kind of a sibling relationship. I say he's my protagonist, who's really my antagonist. And so, but we have this really nice, relationship. And when Ed Fry, who's the producer, one of the producers on this project, when he approached me about doing this movie, I said, is that what Richard wants? And he said, well, Richard turned down 5 directors, and then I pitched your name, and he said, okay, I'd do it for her. And I think I say all that to say this, the relationship that I think he and I have, because we have that, he's more authentic. He's not as polite. He's not as, he's more himself. He has moments of just being a curmudgeon. He has grumpiness. He has moments where he's authentic. And, we had a chance to capture all that. I think it was pretty lovely. So, and again, I had 2 of the absolute best filmmakers by my side in Dennis Henry Henley, who I've also known for longer than I'd like to admit. He and I went to high school together at the Indiana Academy, and Dennis is has just this amazing intuition for story. He is he's just really present and very present in the moment, all the time. And where I might be in my head a little more, Dennis really encourages me to be really heart forward. And I think that helped a lot with this film. And then also Peter Alton, who is just an amazing DP and cinematographer who, gosh, I mean, he would shoot things and I'd be on the director's monitor and I'd be like, I see what you're doing, but I don't know how you're doing it. So it was just great. And so Pete and I had a conversation early on and I'm talking a lot. Pete and I had a
Oh, no,
conversation early
please.
on about the theme that I saw for this film.
Mhm.
And then, of course, this film is about medical debt, and Richard is wheeling to raise awareness about medical debt. As he wheels, you realize how small he is against this backdrop of just this huge, huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's as big as his the child abuse problem that he had before, but it may be even bigger because it touches everyone. You know, not everybody abuses their kids, but everybody has medical needs, right?
Yep.
Everybody has health insurance or whatever, and we're all getting, you know, we're all getting traumatized by it.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I told Pete, I said, one of the things I'm thinking about is this contrast between big and little.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where sometimes Richard is like, you'll see him in the frame and he's just really big, right? And sometimes you'll see him as like he's the ant in the ashtray, you know? And so Pete got exactly what I was throwing down and really just took ownership of it in so many great ways. And I just didn't have to worry a minute about the footage on this. And of course, Dennis shot too. It was very great to have an editor who was there with me at the same time. And it's just fantastic all around. So couldn't have done it without this too. Sure.
Nice. Yeah, the film is beautiful.
Thank you.
The thing that like always strikes me about films that are like homegrown here in Indiana, like this is by design, obviously an Indiana film. For those listening who aren't aware of it, who haven't heard me pounding the drum for this film since I found out about it, the Tenderness Tour is the story of Richard Probst, who has for decades now done what is called the Tenderness Tour, where he wheels around, he's in a wheelchair, wheels around Indiana, and he fundraises for causes. So he's done child abuse causes, and it was last year? Yes. Yeah, last year.
2024.
Yeah. In 2024, he was raising funds for, with the hope of eradicating medical debt in the state. And this documentary follows that Tenderness Tour, the hardships of it, and examines what it entails to be, like, honestly, an American citizen with who is subjected to this frankly broken healthcare system that is stacked so heavily against just everyone who is just living. And
right
yeah,
sure.
And that's the other thing that I really admired about the documentary was the way that you were able to showcase Richard and get his personality on film, and also give us that information of like showing the scope of what this means, what it means, what he's doing, and why this is a just massive problem. He was working with it's undue medical debt.
Undue medical debt, right?
Undue medical debt.
Right. They're a nonprofit organization in New York, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
What they do is so incredibly clever. They, instead of buying medical debt and then calling people and hounding them, that's what a collection agency does, just backing up.
Yeah.
They buy medical debt for pennies on the dollar. The hospital system or the whatever, they write it off. And that really should be the end of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because now we got taxpayers involved. If you're writing something off, then that should be my feeling, that should be the end of the debt, right?
Yep.
But that is not the end of the debt. That is not what happens. So they sell it to a collection agency. That collection agency might buy it, say, $100 for $1, right? And they'll go after these people and say, sick people, by the way, sick, recovering people, hopefully, potentially the families of dead people, right? They'll go after them and say, hey, look, you owe us this amount of money. And people will say, like, we can't do it. And then they act like a good guy. And they're like, well, what if we cut it in half?
Right.
What if we only ask you for $50 or $5,000 instead of $10,000, right? And so they're acting like heroes. But in reality, This is not heroic.
No.
This is usury, right?
Yep.
And so undue medical debt has taken this and turned it on its head and said, what if we just buy it and forgive it?
Mm-hmm.
What if we raise funds and for every dollar we raise, we forgive $100 worth of medical debt?
Yeah.
What a concept. And they're
Mm-hmm.
well aware that this is a Band-Aid
Mm-hmm.
for or a tourniquet really, for a hemorrhaging patient,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is not sustainable.
Right.
But something's got to happen. And so I love that they're stepping up to do it. And their mindset and Richard's mindset, of doing a whole lot with very little is certainly congruent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, coming out of the theater last night, like I was with some friends and like we were swapping stories and about medical debt that we've had. Like
Sure.
it feels like such a universal thing here in the United States, because everywhere else doesn't really have this problem all that much.
Right.
But like, I remember like in 2014, I think I had just gotten off of my parents' insurance, and I was working a job where I did not have insurance, and I had to have my gallbladder taken out. And like, that's that's not something I can just sit there and like live with. And
right.
So like, I got it taken out, and I remember.
Nor should you ever have to live in a world that considers that a possibility.
Exactly.
Gosh, I'm just going to put up with this painful stabbing sensation in my, on my right side.
Exactly.
What an awful, an awful feeling.
Oh yeah. So I remember
Terrible.
getting it taken out, and like and this is maybe other problems that aren't touched on there, but like I remember like it was like a Friday afternoon, since it's an elective like outpatient, or not elective, but it's an outpatient procedure. It's like I was like, okay, well, I was aware that I might have gallstones, they might have gone into my intestines or something, so I'm gonna need to make sure that I talk to the doctor afterwards and make sure everything's okay. And they're like, oh no, the doctor's gone. Like the doctor just left for the weekend, and here's a little mini can of ginger ale and some graham crackers, and those are going to cost like $1,000 or $2,000 on your bill. It's like,
gosh.
Okay, yeah.
Wish you made a Costco run beforehand. That would have been helpful, right?
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Share it with the other people. And do you know how many graham crackers you can buy for $1,000?
Absolutely.
I know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
insane.
So it's just, it's so.
And we might be being a little, a little hyperbolic, but I will say that Jenny Nolan, who's featured in our film, she's great. She's in Carmel. She's part of Clear Health Advocacy, and she's a board certified patient advocate. She told me, and this didn't make the film, but that 80% of medical bills are flawed. Oh, 80% of them are missed bills. So always ask for an itemized bill, right? And then look things over. My doctor, his wife got pregnant and had a baby, and they charged her for 2 epidurals. Oh, and he's like, well, as far as I know, like there was one lady there, one baby. I think we just needed one epidural. But this is a problem that affects everybody, not just and even those in the medical profession, right? Yeah. So I keep thinking about this concept of, we call it medical debt, right? When we say debt, we think of consumer debt, right? I think about, you have your mortgage, which is, okay debt to have. You have your, you might have a credit card. Okay. You might have a credit card that you've charged quite a bit on. You might have, just student loans, whatever, right? When we think about medical debt as debt, it's not the same thing as like, okay, I'm going to go buy a boat, right? Or I'm going to go buy this car and be too buried in it. Or I'm going to spend, $3,000 at Costco or whatever it is I'm going to do, right? That is very, very different kind of, in my mind, that's very different consumer debt from medical debt, which is, I feel a stabbing sensation in my, right flank, and gosh, do I have gallstones? I don't know, should I have something done about that?
Mhm.
I mean, right? So it's not this arbitrary like choice. It is
Mhm.
a matter of staying alive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people depend on you for your income and for your,
Mhm.
that just love you, right? And why we can't figure out how to take care of one another and why that seems so foreign and weird. I
Yeah.
think there are a lot of I think there must be a lot of propagandists involved here
Yeah.
because this just seems like a no-brainer to me.
Oh, absolutely. And to that point, there was something that Richard says in the documentary that I like. It is such a profound statement. He says, and I'm 99% sure I have this exactly right, but he says, "Life is incredible, and everyone deserves a great one." And like that is, it's such a simple but provocative statement, and it shouldn't be like anything that's like that should be the status quo. Like,
Right. I mean,
yeah.
why are the question I have, and I hope it's subtextual in this film, but like,
Mhm.
why are Americans comfortable with giving their money and insurance money? And I mean, some of these, like, $600 a month,
Yeah.
a whole paycheck. Why are people
Mhm.
comfortable giving their money to a large corporation
Mhm.
and not why is that's okay, and
Yeah.
letting them say yes, you can have health care, or no, you can't,
Mhm.
versus a more democratic system where we all kind
Yeah.
of put our money together and help one another, and there's no profit and there's no whatever. We just
Yep.
why is this so weird? Why is this so
Yeah.
hard?
Oh, no
You know?
idea. And that's also something that I really appreciate about the documentary as well, is that you the way that the film delivers this information about like the inflation and how like the pricing has changed over the years into ballooning into ridiculous unattainable figures. That's complemented by just real life testimonials of some people in the film that is just a genuine like I said, this is a universal nationwide kind of
Right.
epidemic that people experience. And like I know I said like, yeah, my gallstones, my gallbladder and everything. And to your point, yes, like that is medical debt that is not the same. That's debt that's not the same as like, oh,
You didn't go to the Gap and buy a lot of jeans, right?
exactly, exactly. I did not have a good time getting my gallbladder taken out.
Right. That's right. You didn't
Yeah,
go to Cancun to, for that
exactly.
surgery, right? Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate in that, I mean, I have my own like health problems and everything like anyone does, but I'm fortunate in the way that I don't have like a chronic illness or anything like that
Okay.
that
Okay.
requires, like a lot of different strategies to take care of. And I feel like there's this divide within the country where people, like maybe people that are privileged like me, to not have that experience, just don't understand what that means for other people. Like what it means for other people to have to make the choice between having some kind of treatment for something that would increase their general way of life, or save their life entirely, or postponing that because they don't want to be swallowed under the weight of this massive debt. And
Right.
I just wish that there was more compassion. And I feel like that is really at the heart of this film, is the compassion and the tenderness of it all. It's really
And tenderness goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
Tenderness is we need to care for you in a loving, compassionate way, and tenderness is also the raw pain, I think, which is kind of an exemplified as metaphor by Richard's hands getting torn up in
Yes.
the film. Like I think, and Richard can't wear gloves, and I think it's this metaphor of, for me anyway, of why do we tolerate this? Like, why does Richard tolerate his hands getting torn up when he might be able to find a glove, right? or he might be able to have some custom made, or probably there's a solution there somewhere.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a metaphor that gets you in the sense of like, I always think of it that way. And everybo's constantly asking him, why don't you wear gloves? Spoiler alerts, guys, but why don't you wear gloves? Why don't you wear gloves? And he's like, gosh, I can't find any that fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and everybody kind of accepts that answer. And I'm like, why do you guys accept that answer from him? Like I wanted to like intervene so badly, like as a filmmaker, and be like, why, really, why? But I thought, no, let's just let this unfold. And in the same way, I think that's how we look at healthcare. We're like, well, just the world we live in, right?
Exactly.
Well, how it is.
Yeah.
It's just, we just have to put up with it. And I think we're resigned to so much and forget that we have, we are not an autocracy in the United States. Not, well, at least not yet.
Yeah.
But we really are a democracy, which means that it's we the people, and we get to decide what's best for us.
Yeah.
Together.
Oh yeah. And
if our legislators can't figure this out, maybe we hire new ones. We fire them and we hire new ones, right?
100%. Like, it just seems...
And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I really don't. In fact, most of the people in this movie are not on the left. And all of them are talking about the need for support and socialized, maybe not socialized medicine. Sure. But a system that is, is single payer. Yeah. Or, Medicare for all. Something like that. And it's pretty, Medicare works great. Works great for people. Yeah. And these insurance companies are just absolutely the thing that I find most evil about this monster is that the people in our film, I get emotional when I think about it, the people in our film who are struggling and suffering are suffering in order to provide dividends for shareholders for these insurance companies that are run by hedge fund managers. Yep. And just all of this brokenness is completely avoidable. Yep. It's completely avoidable. So I'm on board with Richard. I get it. I think Richard is uniquely qualified to talk about this character, this issue. He was homeless twice because of medical debt. He's been through cancer twice. He's had amputations. He is well aware of when medicine works and when it hurts. And I think he just has this unique ability to laugh and to face this head on. And at the same time, like his warmth, like the laughter that he brings to it. This movie's funny. Oh, I mean, that's the thing that somebody said to me. They're like, well, it's a documentary. It is a documentary. Yes. It's also cinematic, and it's also hilarious. Yes. Richard is very funny. I mean, and from the opening scene, we tell you it's okay to laugh. Because most people, when they see a disabled person, are like, I don't know if I can laugh at them, or I feel like whatever. No, this movie gives you permission to laugh from the hook. Yes. Right? Oh, yeah. And yes, Richard's hilarious, and it's mind-boggling how quick-witted he is. Like, it's insane. He's amazing. He's got, his timing is ridiculous. And people are like, did you script him? I'm like, no, I did not. We never said, hey, Richard, say this. Yep. Or I mean, I might ask him a question, but I can't, I never let him on to like, or Dennis might ask him a question, or Pete might ask him a question, right? But nobody ever let him on to like say this, Richard. Yeah. But boy, he's a writer in his own right. Oh yeah. So he's probably better at delivery than I am. I think I'm a decent writer, but I'm pretty bad at delivering my own. Like, I'm not an actor, I'm always like, oh, I should be an actor. Richard, on the other hand, trained as an actor in college. He's done improv stuff. He's just carried that into his life. And gosh, it's so great. So fun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's a blast. I don't want to give away any of the jokes because they're all magic, but oh my gosh. Yeah. And then Richard also has this, this family of choice, which is around him. The Roadies. I'm probably stealing your thunder, but I wondered, what did you think of The Roadies?
Phenomenal.
What do you think?
I was really, because I've known about the Tenderness Tour. I've known about his activism and everything, but I've never known like the specifics of the Tenderness Tour. I never really knew like the ins and outs of it, and to see it depicted and like knowing that he has that community, like that chosen family to help him out and assist him with that. Like it's wonderful to see it just documented on film, and it brings to life just this energy that he has that up to now for me has just been kind of indefinable to me. Like, cause like,
right.
Yeah. Like I'm in the IFJ with him. So like for the last 5-6 years, like I've been in meetings, like in awards meetings with him and like 20 other critics, for like 3 hours at a time. And like just the energy and his just overall aura just shines through each time. And it's captured so well here.
Oh, he's sharp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he doesn't miss a trick. He's, I think because I this resonates with me because of the cult background, but I think because of that, we're hyper aware, right? Because of that early trauma, we have a tendency toward hyper awareness. And the thing is, Richard, it's time to relax, right?
Yeah.
Like he can't turn it off. He can't really just go, oh, okay. Yep. It's time to unwind. Richard never unwinds.
No.
He's always on.
Yep.
He's always on. He's always thinking about the next episode, right?
Yep.
So,
oh yeah.
Is that fair? I mean, would you say that's fair?
Oh, absolutely. Like even the fact that he did this Tenderness Tour in general is so remarkable to me because like you said, he has survived cancer.
Yes.
This was a couple of years ago or a few years ago, I think. And like the fact that he still had that drive and that passion for this specific cause due to that, not because he, as it's stated in the film, it's not because like he's under a massive amount of debt from his cancer treatments. Like he talks about how he for the first time, he was in the position where he didn't need to worry about that kind of thing because he has good healthcare and everything. And just like the fact that he's the type of person who would take that and then spread that to everyone that he can and like do this Tenderness Tour, which is remarkable. Like it's really inspiring. Yeah.
There's this one question that he asks. We played kind of fast and loose with time in this movie. We interviewed him on multiple occasions, and he would say the same things a lot, but he would say them better in certain ways. And I'm like, what? Let's just create this kind of mosaic where, we have him in his head sometimes, and we have him, talking, doing something, but then we kind of have these moments where we get a more intimate look of what he's thinking. And he asks this really important question. It's simple. He's talking to Undue Medical Debt about he's telling them his story. And he says, I have pretty good insurance. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have to worry about whether I was going to lose everything. And then we cut to him and he says, why doesn't everybody have this?
Yes.
And that is the question that Richard cannot abide. Richard cannot abide unfairness. He cannot abide injustice. He cannot abide inequity of any kind. Everyone must be included. And in Richard really embodies the notion that everybody counts or nobody counts.
Yep.
Right. If some people are, so yeah, he is absolutely incensed at injustice. And the minute he feels that injustice, his first thought is not, well, those poor guys, it's sad for them. Gosh, what am I going to do take care of myself? No, that is not Richard's experience. Richard's experience is to say, and what am I going to do about it? And then hold himself accountable in a way that I don't think most humans do.
Right.
I think most humans do not accept responsibility for their fellow man, their fellow person, right?
Yep.
Sorry, Richard, if you're hearing this, it's fellow person. I think, and because he doesn't do that well, we all benefit from that. Now, is he perfect about it? No.
Right.
Could he do it better? I mean, like, look, this is a very lo-fi kind of guy,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
you got duct tape on the back of the wheelchair. You got, like, we have a world-class film crew next door to you, Richard. Why are you shooting with your iPhone up your nose, right? Like, right? So, and it's because he'd been done with it. He was like, I'm done with you people, right? I'm doing this myself. So there is this kind of tension there, but he never lets himself off the hook for not caring and not being supportive. And I think, Richard, if I were to, like, as I think about it and I kind of talk with you about it, like, it comes to mind that Richard's core value, like one of his core values, and one of the reasons as much as he can irritate me sometimes, I always come back to him, is he is very emotionally loyal. Like, for Richard, emotional loyalty is like his absolute core value. And I think it's mine. And I think that's what resonates so well. If you are Richard's friend, he is championing you. He is providing a safe space for you for you, your ability, until you become an antagonist, and then but I'll, forget it. But, and honestly, shooting him was hard. It was hard. It was hard on him.
Yeah.
It was hard on it was hard on me. I mean, it's hard to put a camera on your friend's face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And realize how vulnerable they are. It's hard.
Yeah.
Wicked hard.
Oh, yeah.
And then wonder, how are people going to see him?
Right.
Are they going to see him the way I see him? Are they going to love him the way I love him? It's a huge risk on his part.
Yeah. 100%. And I've got to say, like, as someone who knows Richard, like, I'm biased, but like I said, captured him beautifully.
Thank you.
Like, it's just astounding to just see the inner machinations of this Tenderness Tour, and the personability that he has. This, like, he is uncomfortable in some cases, and like, the film doesn't shy away from that. That's something that my friend Nick Rogers from Midwest Film Journal, like, he definitely picked up on that too. And like, even with that like visible kind of just like not really sure how to interact with the camera, when we see him like meeting people and like along the way and just mentioning like, yeah, I'm doing this tour for fundraising for medical debt and everything. It's just, you can see the light just like go on in the people's eyes that he's talking to. And it's really, it's great. And that's another thing that I really love about it also, is that it's a showcase of Indiana as well. Like,
oh, it's sweet. Yeah.
Because he's going through trails and stuff all throughout, like starting in Indianapolis and then going up north and then back down like around like Richmond and then back to Indianapolis. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous to see the state that I've lived in most of my life, just depicted in these gorgeous shots of like the drone footage of just the trails and the farmland and the just small town places that you guys stopped in. It's great to see that represented in a film that's done so well.
Thank you. Yeah. That's high praise. Thank you. I love Indiana. I was born in Muncie.
Nice.
We spent some time in Muncie in this film. I think sometimes Indiana's sort of overlooked as a state, and I say that it's funny, you go places and they're like, we're creating a walkable community. We're creating a place where you can know your friends and neighbors. I will tell you that Indiana is, if you come here and you visit, people get to know you.
Oh yeah.
Quickly. And whether you want them to or not, right? And I think that's Richard. I mean, I think when one of my favorite scenes in this movie, and I think the one that illustrates Indiana the best, honestly. And Richard was tired, and we went to that Sweetser Cafe in Sweetser, Indiana, which is a little cafe in the absolute little diner in the middle of nowhere. Concrete block, but there's something inside there that is just like magic. We wheel in, I say we wheel in. Richard wheels in, we go in behind him. And these women learn of his mission and immediately start giving him their tip money.
Yep.
Now I know, and that day's tip money is groceries, is an electric bill, is, school supplies for a kid.
Yep.
It's gas in the car, right? And then, here they are together and they gather, and we've got Carrie Newcomer's Gathering of Spirits, which she donated for this film. It's so great. And for me, that is Indiana. It's like so Indiana. And it's so lovely. And then the immediate contrast between that, and we put it right up against the monster that is these insurance companies that are screwing those same people.
Yep. Yeah.
And I can't, like Richard, I can't abide it.
No.
It makes me it makes me insane.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like,
why in the world would you turn the screws on hurting people?
Yeah. Hurting people.
On people recovering from illness.
Yes, exactly. Like
it's horrible. And why do we tolerate it?
Oh, absolutely.
Why do we tolerate it?
It's something that I feel like it should be like like you said, with like legislative bodies, like not being able to get it worked out. Like, how is it not something that is just at the forefront of everyone's minds? Like, I don't understand what possible agenda you could have that would be like, oh yeah, I think it's better if someone's, in life-saving insulin is $100 and some more than it should be. Like, I don't understand.
Well, if the insurance lobby is as big as it is, right? If the insurance lobby is as big as it is, we know exactly who they're working for. Yep. Yeah. And I think it's both sides of the aisle. And that's not acceptable to me.
No.
And so I think I hope this film gets national exposure. We're talking to some people.
Nice.
I mean, I think it's got, talking to people, they're all like, this is special. This movie's special.
Oh yeah.
It's got to keep hearing over and over. And it's humbling to me to hear that. I mean, this really is, you mentioned it earlier. This is my first time out as a director. I do a lot of script doctoring. I do some writing.
Nice.
But I went to Spalding University and got my MFA in creative writing. And we shot 28 terabytes of footage, and then it was 32. And then we went back and got, several more terabytes. And Dennis, our editor, was like, we don't need any more footage. I'm like, okay, just a little more though. There's just this one thing, right?
Oh yeah.
We'd shoot something and Pete would be like, you're not going to use it. It's beautiful. You're not going to use it. But what I did was I took a screenplay format and I kind of put Richard's story, I took all the elements and I wrote with them. And sometimes my direction to the guys would be like, just give me pretty pictures to write with, guys. Nice. So I just would shuffle the deck a little bit and be like, oh, this illustrates that and this illustrates this. And then I would do, I kind of put it in an outline form for Dennis. And then a lot of times he would take that outline form and then make it better. And it would kind of, or we'd go back and forth, or I'd be on on the couch behind him, and just we'd be laughing. And what about this scene? What if we shoehorned this one in there?
Yes.
So that was the process, I think.
Okay.
You didn't ask that question, but
no, but I was going to.
Yeah. I'm anticipating what you're saying, but
oh no, yeah.
No, it was something I'd never done before, but I think sometimes when you've never done something before, kind of like how Richard is doing this medical debt thing, and that's never been a thing for him, but he's doing what he knows, right? He's doing a tour. He knows that part.
Yeah.
What he doesn't know is the social media asking for help, figuring out how to work with undue medical debt, right? He doesn't know that part. And as an analogy, by way of analogy, I know words and I know writing pretty well. What I didn't know was how to direct.
Interesting.
And so Dennis was such a great coach, and Pete too. And both of them were just such great coaches. Like, here, tell me this. But they were like, I really trusted them a lot. I think if you have a DP that you really trust, and I think if you have an editor that you can really give opinions to, who listens to you carefully, I think you have. I think it's a trifecta, really. As someone who's never made films at all, I agree. Like, it sounds like that's absolutely the way. And especially with like a documentary film, like they're fascinating to me just as a genre of filmmaking, because from my like outsider perspective, I just imagine that it would be so easy to just get so lost in this sea of terabytes of footage and piecing together the narrative and everything. And it's just, that's one of the things that loses me in a lot of documentaries is, the pacing or is it going to hold my attention throughout? And like I said before, this is such a great balance of giving vital information about the state of this country and the healthcare system, while also being an incredible human interest story for Richard, and showcasing the horrible experiences of some people that have gone through these like just medical debt, and the fight to make it not as traumatizing, really. And it's just, why should healthcare be traumatizing at all? Exactly. I mean, I think the goal, as I recall, the Hippocratic Oath says, do no harm. Right. Yeah. First, do no harm. Oh yeah. All we're doing is harm. Right. Like also, I have no medical background or whatever, but I have seen. Oh, I don't either. I mean, I do now. I know, yeah, but I mean, I've seen 8 seasons of ER, so I know. I know exactly what it's supposed to be, but it's just that's what gets me about it. Because another like quick anecdote about me, I had like my own like frustration with just the possibility of medical debt with COVID. Like in December 2020. Yeah. December 2020, I woke up with symptoms and I was like, okay, this is bad. So yeah. So like I sheltered in place, I stayed home. And then like, as like the, like probably 3 or 4 days later, it just like, it got worse. And it was like, okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing. I don't have, at the time, I did not have a vehicle at my apartment. And my mother was elderly. And so I'm like, okay, she can't come take me to the hospital because that is going to put her at risk. Right. And I can't like call an Uber or anything. I can't find a way to get there. And like, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, do I rack up hundreds, thousands of dollars for an ambulance to take me to get like seen? Or do I just hope that this doesn't get worse? And like, that is a problem that no one should have. Yeah.
That's
No,
not,
nobody should.
yeah.
Nobody should have this. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think about a friend of mine who's a pulmonologist.
Mhm.
He lost a lot of his colleagues during
Mhm.
COVID,
Oh, yeah.
and I let him screen the movie. He wouldn't go on camera or on the record.
Sure.
I talked to a lot of doctors actually
Mhm.
about this movie, and Dr. Potter would go on the record because
Mhm.
she's just a fireball. She's like, I'll do it, whatever.
Nice.
This is, and she's one of the few independent doctors that are still out there, right? The rest
Yeah.
of them are all owned now
Mhm.
by these huge insurance companies, and if they come out and say something, they're going to lose their jobs,
Right.
right? And it's like, then how are they going to work? Because 80% of doctors now most doctors are not entrepreneurs, right? I mean, if they are entrepreneurs, they do it, they do that work, and they kind of have that separate, but most of them aren't. Most of them work for large hospital systems or these HMOs.
Mhm.
They are disgusted by wanting to give, they want to provide, say, medicine that they know will work
Mhm.
in this one instance. They know it's going to work to this patient. But because this patient, their insurance says, no, they have to have this one, it's going to take twice as long for them to get better. And again, like, the longer they're sick, the more inflammation there is, the more difficulty. There could be secondary problems that could really, really be problematic, right?
Yeah.
So we're not just getting medical care, right?
Mhm.
That we can't afford. We're also getting substandard medical care because that would work better. And we've zip tied the hands of doctors and said, look, you can only do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
In order to pay shareholders,
Mhm.
which is disgusting. It's
Yep.
absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And
horrifying.
so it's been really hard to, like, wrestle with this and listen to this, and then also come up with a story that is entertaining, right? It should be entertaining, because if it's not, people, look, our executive producer was like, medical debt, my gosh, we might as well give people pillows and blankets at the at the door, so they can get a good nap. So it had to be entertaining. Richard is entertaining, and he's willing to fight, and he's fighting. He's wheeling and fighting, and he's fighting himself, and he's fighting. He's got his own arc of do I lean on people? Do I do this by myself? He's all he's working through that. And then we meet these people along the way who are gracious enough to let us come into their homes and listen.
Yeah.
And they held nothing back.
Yeah. It's
and how
absolutely
honored I am to hold this space.
Mm-hmm.
Really. I mean, what a privilege for people to give you their story, and for you to hold that space in a way that is respectful yet honest, that is compassionate yet kind of hard hitting.
Yep. Yeah.
It's I think being heart forward and being present, as I was coached to be by two of the hardest working men in show business. I'm honored to have held this space in this way, not just for Richard, but for the people he came across, and for my home state, because this place is awesome, and I think it gets a lot of, I think everybody kind of tears it down. Nobody. There's nothing. Did anything good come from Nazareth or whatever, right? I mean, it's been the same. They said the same thing about Jesus, but I'm not saying that Indiana is the promised land, but maybe I am. It is. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
With a lot of great people, and I'm so thankful that we got to be at Heartland. I'm so thankful that people like Seth Maxwell and Jeff Sparks and Mike Manning and the incredible Ed Fry came together and said, well, we're going to hold you up and support you through this. What do you need? Do you need money? Do you need a shoulder to cry on? Like, what is it that you need right now? And so the other thing, Matt, that we have not talked about in this film that I want to talk about real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry to set your agenda for you, but...
Oh, no, you're fine. This is amazing. Please go.
I also think that this movie, for me, is a depiction of healthy masculinity.
Mm.
I have two sons that their father and I adopted, and they're brothers. They were bio brothers. They came to us when they were 4 and 7, and they're just absent. Now they're grown men and taking care of their mom, right? Mm-hmm. So they're absolutely the loves of my life, along with their sisters, their younger sisters who we also adopted. But I rarely see movies where men can be themselves and still be tender.
Yes.
And where men talk to each other in a way that, say, like Rick talks to Richard, that Seth talks to Richard, that Terry, who's the town manager at Shipshawana, talks to Richard, that Craig talks to Richard, right? And there are a lot of women in this movie. There are a ton of them.
Yeah.
But the men in this movie, I think, are to be lauded, and really how Richard starts understanding, I think, masculinity is not something to be feared, but something to embrace.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
for my sorry, I'm gonna cry. For my boys, that is what I want for them. That's what I want for them. I want them to feel like they can be fully men and fully embrace themselves and love with wild abandon, and at the same time be fully men and redefine that, this machismo patriarchy garbage that they've been told is what makes you a man, because I don't think that's what makes you all.
Wholeheartedly agree, and that is so beautifully said.
Thank
that
you.
in the way that Richard opens up in this film is so, like, it's so vulnerable, it's so personal, and it's just so strong. Like, there's so much power in this film because of not only just the blanket thing of medical debt, but like you said, the masculinity, like just the depiction of it. Like, you see how these things affect others and these things affect people, and still, like, there's a moment where someone in the film says that, Richard has every right to be rude or be like have a massive chip on his shoulder, but he doesn't. He chooses to be this positive, like having this life affirming sort of viewpoint, and it's something that is incredibly vulnerable to depict for him, but it's also so inspirational and aspirational to everyone in the audience. And that's just an overwhelming feeling that I had coming out of the theater. And I need more people to see, as many people to see this as they can, because it is incredibly, incredibly powerful work.
Thank you. I really, thinking about Richard as a role model. I mean, my oldest son saw this and he hugged me and he goes, "Mom, that's the best therapy session I've ever had."
I love that. I love that so much.
And he told Richard the same thing. He's like, I just feel like at first I felt like I don't have anything in common with this guy. And by the end of it, I want to be this guy,
Yes.
And then he goes, and then we talked about it. I said, and then you realize the price that you have to pay to be that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so wisdom comes sometimes at a pretty high price.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's really, I mean, Richard isn't perfect, right? He can be kind of gruff and rough around the edges and curmudgeonly and whatever, but he has this ability to connect, I think, with the best parts of who we are,
Mm-hmm.
and to call us to be better.
Yep.
And to be like, you're really better than this. This is better. You know, you can be better.
Absolutely.
So I think that's the good stuff of this movie. That's the good people. He's the good people.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
he's the good people that he's looking for.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we'll have to start winding down a little bit, but once again, just congratulations on this.
Thank you.
It's such a great film. So you've had 2 screenings at Heartland, the world premiere,
Correct.
and last night you had the screening at the Alamo. You have one more this Saturday.
That's right.
What time is it on Saturday?
Oh gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Yikes. I think it's like, is it 2:45?
That
1:45? Yikes.
sounds right, but
I should probably know this. Gosh, it's terrible. I'm still coming down off of 2 great screenings. We just had amazing audiences, and it's interesting to me it was interesting to hear what resonated with the audiences and whether the jokes landed or not. And boy, when the first joke lands, I'm like, yes, got him.
Absolutely. And there are some bits in it, like just that are called back to throughout. I'm not going to spoil any of it, but like there's one in particular that I'm just like, that is so Richard. That's so great. Like it's so, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm trying to find where it is, but the response has been great from all I've heard. And, at the end of the credits, you guys have the QR code for undue medical debt to donate, and from what I hear, there's been a nice surge of support and donations coming in.
We've raised $15,000 through these 2 screenings,
That's
and
incredible.
that translates into $1.5 million worth of medical debt erased for Hoosiers. That just gave me chills. For me is like, I know, it's amazing, right? And so, because again, $1 buys 100,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it's just been this incredible outpouring. And again, the net profits for this film, the way we all set it up, we decided that the net profits, and again, we're talking about at least 90% will be going toward undue medical debt.
Perfect.
So even if we get a big distribution deal, even if whatever, 90% of it's going to first to Hoosier medical debt, and then beyond that. That's
amazing.
And again, people, if it gets national exposure, if it gets international exposure, people can use that QR code and give to undue medical debt for their state or for whatever they want to. So yeah,
absolutely.
We want to be part of the solution.
That's incredible. Like, I just hats off to you, to everyone involved. It's just so great. And it is going to screen Saturday, October 18th at 2:45 at the Indie Arts Center, but it is available to stream at heartlandfilm.org.
Stream.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can also vote for us for Audience Choice. Please do that. Gosh.
Yes. And they're like, it's on a scale from 1 to 5. That 5 needs to be like,
hit that 5.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want that little dot for the 5 to be worn out from everyone voting for it. Because but if you're in the United States, go to heartlandfilm.org. You can purchase a digital ticket, have a digital screener of the Tenderness Tour. That goes through October 19th. And
I think the 18th if you want to vote for us, though.
Oh, yes. So watch it before then, vote for it.
That's right.
Yeah. And just make sure you support the film, everyone. I give it my full force of endorsement there.
Oh, Matt, I seriously, thank you so much.
Of course.
Has been, and thank you for just letting me take the reins.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of want to do that sometimes. But
no, it's great.
I've had a lot to say about the film, and just thinking about it, thinking about the process and where we are right now. And now, of course, it's a little bit of a breather, but we're ramping up to distribution. And I think this is a movie that deserves to be seen.
Absolutely.
By a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you have anything lined up, like any other festivals or anything? Are you going to take it to any other festivals, or?
I mean, right now we're
early?
all kind of regrouping. Like, okay,
Yeah.
what's the road? What's the road ahead? Do we four-wall it? Do we figure out a way to go to other festivals? What's the best route? And so I think the team we've been talking to a lot of great people who are just, gosh, people are good people. And I think also the entertainment business, like a lot of people are in unions and they have great insurance, but a lot of indies are not, right? And so a lot of us are out here with our marketplace plan and doing the best we can.
Yeah.
But I think it resonates in that way. But I think Hollywood is kind of like, yeah, this is a problem. And yeah, everybody's talking about it. And yeah, people are really scared their premiums are going up. So I think we hit the zeitgeist just right. And that's kudos to Richard for having that kind of vision a year ahead of time, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Nice. If you could tell people where they can find the Tenderness Tour and any plugs or anything, where they can find you online or the film, aside from heartlandfilm.org.
Sure. You can find me at Instagram at Andie Redwine, Andie, and then Redwine, just like it sounds. And yes, it is my real last name on my birth certificate. So you can go to the Tenderness Tour. We have merch now, which is great. So we're going to be putting some stuff up on our website at tendernnesstourfilm.com. It's still kind of lo-fi right now, but we're working on it. And we also our Facebook page is a great place to find us at Tenderness Tour Film. So
perfect.
And then you can go follow Richard, because he's Richard Probst, the Tenderness Tour. He's kind of he's there with us, and so we're kind of branding ourselves a little bit, but it's good.
Nice.
It's good.
Perfect. Well, Andie, thank you so much for your time tonight. And again, congratulations on the film. I'm so excited for what the future holds for you and for the whole team and the film itself. So yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to see it, get into more eyeballs. It's a weird way to say it. But
all the eyeballs. We want
exactly.
We want to be inside your eyeballs.
Exactly.
They tell me I view obsessively.
Okay, and before we get to the second interview for this episode, I do want to take a quick moment to remind you that if you like the show, please take a moment to follow us on social media and subscribe to and rate the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or whatever your preferred podcast app is. And don't forget to subscribe to the Obsessive Viewer Podcast YouTube channel as well, where I have more stuff posting every day or so. Well, not every day, but also follow the TikTok. I'm posting some TikToks there too. So it's cross-posted over all the social medias. And if you're interested in starting a podcast of your own, you can go to Libsyn and use the promo code OBSESS when you sign up for a new account. You'll get up to 2 months free depending on when you sign up during the month, and we'll get a commission on it as well. More details on that in the show notes of this episode, and you'll also have a specialized link that you click to go sign up there. So check that out in the show notes. Once again, those show notes are at obsessiveviewer.com/OV490. And now back to the show.
They tell me I view obsessively.
All right, and joining me for the second part of this episode is Richard Probst, the man himself, to run down his credits. And basically, I'm reading from his Letterboxd account. He's the founder and publisher of the independentcritic.com, member of the Indiana Film Journalists Association. He's the namesake for the Heartland International Film Festival's Richard D. Probst Social Impact Award. He's one of the nation's leading disabled film journalists, and he's a longtime writer and activist in the areas of violence prevention and children's issues, founder of the Tenderness Tour and Race Away from Domestic Violence. And he's the author of The Hallelujah Life. He's also a Rotten Tomatoes approved critic, and he is proud to have served up the only fresh rating for Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star. Yes. It is my friend and IFJ colleague, Richard Probst, whose work can be found at the I keep messing that up. TheIndependentCritic.com and followed on Letterboxd at the username of Richard Probst. And he can be seen at Heartland Film Festival in the film The Tenderness Tour that is screening on once again on Saturday and will be streamable throughout the run of the festival, ending on October 19th. But see it before the 18th so you can vote for it for the Audience Choice Award. So, Richard, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, how's it going?
It's going all right, except for the fact that you can't say the name of my website.
I know. And here's the thing. Like I said, people can find Richard on the big screen at on the Tenderness Tour at Heartland. And also, I don't know if you know this, but they can also see the the Independent Critic on the trailer for the anniversary re-release of the Corpse Bride trailer. I've seen that pop up. It pops up and says visually stunning, the Independent Critic. And I'm like,
Really?
oh, hey, yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know that guy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've considered rebranding so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, the Tenderness Tour is memorable and everybody can say it.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And I wanted to start off by just saying that, I've known you, Richard, for going on 7 years now since I joined the IFGA, I would say. And I think that it's interesting. If you wanted to be on The Obsessive Viewer, you could have just asked. You didn't have to go be in a documentary and be at Heartland and everything. So I appreciate it, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, That's how badly I want to be on The Obsessive Viewer.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the whole reason I did the film. Yeah.
Well, I'm touched, but yeah. So again, I loved the film. It is very much, it is you to a T, and it's phenomenal, the work you do. And I was talking with Andie about just the concept of medical debt and everything is just insane. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you about it. And yeah. So how does it feel to be the subject of a documentary in the same theaters where you have reviewed films from other filmmakers?
It really hit me Monday when I was at the Alamo Draft House, which of course is relatively new in our market. But it's a really respected chain. It's very indie, very cool place. And as I was sitting in my seat looking up at that, screen, it was just really powerful to me.
Nice.
It was really exciting. It is weird because, I have been a film critic for a long time, film journalist for a long time. And, I've been somebody who's contributed, I've produced a little bit, but to be actually on the screen and to look up and realize that you really are kind of the featured player in a film is just pretty mind-boggling. And, this was not the first time I'd been approached about doing a film, but it had just never felt right. And this time around, I thought I liked the team. A lot of the people who were involved in this project, including executive producer Jeff Sparks, very involved in Heartland Film Festival. Jeff founded the festival, and so it just felt different this time around. And I guess I couldn't say no.
Nice.
And I'm getting older. So you start to think about legacy, and there may come this point where I can't wheel anymore. I keep saying that I've reached that point, but then I keep proving that wrong. But you just want something that will continue, and I really kind of reached a point where I wanted to do something bigger And I don't know. Here I am now.
Nice. That it's so like I totally get that. And it's funny because like you talking about like, oh, legacy and stuff. And like, I'm just like, I mean, I have podcasts. Like that's my legacy. And like, you're here like trying to eradicate medical debt and doing all of these like amazing things. And I'm like, I have 3 podcasts actually. But no, it's really amazing. And I sang the praises of the film to Andie and to anyone who would listen, really. It is absolutely just fantastic. And it's so great to kind of see how the Tenderness Tour unfolds too, because that's something that I know that you've done that, and I'll ask you like the history and everything, but I didn't know the logistics of it. And I actually did have a question for you about that, just a basic question about just the general Tenderness Tour. But like the entire thing is like you're wheeling around the state in an effort to raise money for different causes. You've done it for decades. Do you do that with like, do you have like a special like wheelchair specifically for it, or do you do like your quote unquote daily driver for it?
Oh, I wish I had more of a sports specific chair. I wish I had a rigid frame chair. If you kind of know my personal circumstances, I drive a car, not a van. And so my chair has to fold. And so that makes it hard to have a really good roadworthy chair. Actually getting close to switching to a van. I'm looking into it. Once again, that whole getting older thing. But I typically, most of the time, will have 1 or 2 chairs on hand. And one of them is really kind of considered my everyday life chair, and one goes through a lot more. You know, I take it on the road. It's a little more appropriate, you know, because the road is unpredictable. And so you never know what you're going to get. You know, everyday life, you know, you deal with sidewalks and streets and the car. It's pretty simple. You know, wheeling around the house. But on the road, I mean, you may get uphill, downhill. You may get gravel roads. You may get, you know, dirt roads. So you have to have you know, bigger tires, a lower chair for, you know, like angle and everything. So, yeah. So it's not quite a sports chair, but it's definitely a more durable chair. Okay, that's good to know, because I was thinking about that, like, because there are parts in the documentary where like going on like the asphalt just to get to the cafe that you guys are at for a second. I'm like, oh yeah, well this is like, there's still days left of the tour. Like what if something happens, and not to say if anything happens in the documentary, because you'll have to see to find out, but like, I mean, just like the logistics of that just seems like I'd be very anxious. You know, I am sometimes, and it was interesting with this trip because, of course, I did have a road. I had the film crew with me, you know, and they were riding in a golf cart on the trails, typically ahead of me, occasionally behind me. So, but they were always kind of around there. And, you know, usually when I'm on the road, I have like one person who's with me, a road crew person. So I don't take a lot of supplies with me on the road. I really could have done that this time and just didn't prepare very well, if you will. So, yeah. Nice. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the Tenderness Tour. So it began in, what year did you start? You were 24 when you started. So I'm gonna 24. Put you on the spot and have you reveal your age and everything. Man, try not to do the math. No, it was October 8th, 1989, actually. Nice. I had just turned 24. And I had kind of reached this point where I had kind of lost everything that a person could lose. I'd grown up with a lot of trauma and a lot of violence. And I had gone through this year or two period where I had lost my wife. I had lost my newborn. I had lost both of my feet. I had lost my home. I had been living in my car because of medical debt.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I was at bottom, and I'd, been suicidal, and even that hadn't been successful. So I decided to come up with this idea. I called it the Tenderness Tour because that's what I was looking for. I was looking to find out if there were good people in the world. And so I came up with this idea for a 41-day, 1,000-mile trip around the border of Indiana. I traveled alone. I had, it was so long ago, I actually wrote the press releases on a typewriter.
Wow. Nice.
I'm old. Like, wow. But I had so I had these typed press releases, a backpack on the chair, $20 in my pocket, and I just started wheeling. Nice. And I really honestly thought it would probably fail because I didn't consider myself an athlete, but it didn't fail. And I finished my 41 days, and I found almost nothing but good people. And nice. It really kind of changed the trajectory of my life because one of the things I feel like, and I don't want to give away the film, but I do say this in the film, is that once you realize there's hope, I think you have a responsibility to share it. Mm-hmm. And that really kind of led to the Tenderness Tour becoming this at least annual, sometimes more than annual event.
Wow. Yeah. When in the documentary, I don't want to get too ahead of it because I still want to talk about the history of it and everything. But in the documentary, when you share parts of your story, there's some when you go into detail about some of the trauma that you experienced. It's I was telling Andie about this, that it's just so there's so much strength in it in that moment in the documentary, and I think it's captured so well, like the vulnerability and the strength that it takes to just to speak about past traumas and everything is really remarkable. And that also extends to the people in the documentary who are sharing their stories about what has caused them to have medical debt and having all of these things. So like, I don't really have a question with that, just that I was very moved by the personal touch of the documentary. And I think that they did such a great job at just balancing that with the human interest aspect of it, as well as just being this call to action to like just showcase that, like, yes, this is a completely broken system that needs to change like decades ago. Like, it needs to not be a thing anymore, shouldn't have been a thing. And it's such a powerful documentary. So again, no question, just accolades.
Well, one of the things that I thought about a lot as I watched the film, and of course, the world premiere was the first time I had seen the film.
Right.
And so, one of the things that really occurred to me is it almost was the same dynamic as a tour, because I talk a lot about the idea that I love meeting people at 2 to 3 miles an hour. You never know what you're going to get. You can't avoid people. I can't, race off to the, and get away from somebody that I don't want to talk to. Talk to everybody. And you never know what story you're going to get. And I think the great thing here is that, some of the stories that unfold in this film are stories that we didn't necessarily know about when we all met, when our paths first crossed, so which I think is just the magic of the tour. You get together, you be vulnerable, you show up, and then really amazing things happen. And I think that it happened on the road, and it happens in this film.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it comes through so, like, just like moments where you're on a trail and like just people are passing by and they're just exchanging pleasantries. Like it's really great. It makes me feel a little bit like, because like what I've been doing recently, and this is not to plug my Patreon or anything, I promise, but like I've been doing like these walks on trails, listening to The Long Walk by Stephen King, and then recording Patreon reviews as I'm walking and stuff. So it's been a very interesting project, and throughout I feel like, oh, I mean, I'm just have my earbuds in as I'm walking, and then I'm also just talking to myself as I'm walking. It's like I'm passing by people, but I'm not like I feel like there's this pleasantry that can be extended, but I have myself closed off when I'm doing that. So yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people go on trails to kind of get away, and I'm just this person who, likes to acknowledge people, and I'm kind of like Buddy the Elf. I mean, smiling's my favorite.
Yep.
Yep.
I love it. Also, you say hi to every dog. That's important in the film. It is mentioned, and I clocked that.
Every dog.
Oh yeah. So this particular Tenderness Tour, you had set out to raise money to eradicate medical debt in the state of Indiana with partnering with the Undo Medical Debt nonprofit organization. What did you like? I know I'm kind of teeing you up for this, but what prompted you for this? Like, I know the story and everything, but it's just it's incredible. But yeah, how did this particular Tenderness Tour, which took place in the fall of 2024, how did that come about?
Well, earlier in 2024, Ed Paul Fry, who is one of the producers on the film, had approached me with another friend who had worked at Heartland, and Ed had watched me present my Social Impact Award at Heartland. I believe it was the year before, and he was particularly touched by that. That was an award that I presented like a month after I had survived cancer. Mm-hmm. So I was feeling very emotional, very grateful. And he was very moved by it. He talked to, I believe it was Greg Swervig about it, who was the artistic director of Heartland. And Greg encouraged him to read my book, The Hallelujah Life, which I'll plug.
Yeah. Link in the show notes.
Which is, it's about 10 years old, but it gives you a lot of my background. And he kind of came over and he just talked about it. And he was like, how has this story never been a film? And so when we first started, it was going to be like this short documentary, maybe, a few minutes, and mostly based around the book. And then, we talked to, a couple of filmmakers were in the picture, and then, Andie came in the picture, and the story started to unfold a little more. And I started to think, okay, the Tenderness Tour became a bigger presence for the film. And I thought, you can't do a film about the Tenderness Tour and not do one. And, it's just not the kind of thing that you can capture without actually experiencing. So I suggested doing an event. And of course, in my usual way, once I started thinking about it and talking to them, I wanted to do it even bigger. I had originally thought my usual event is around $10,000 or $20,000 that I can raise. I'm not a great fundraiser. I'm really good at awareness. I'm not a great fundraiser. But after talking to Undo Medical Debt, we began to realize how much impact we could have. And it just turned into kind of this sense of call, like, there's all this medical debt out there. We're doing this big project anyway. Let's do something bigger. Let's plan it around. I focused on 4 of Indiana's trails that I knew I'd been on them. So I knew the trails. I knew I could handle them. Because again, I ended up with a urostomy from the bladder cancer because I lost the bladder. And so I wasn't sure how my body would respond. And so I played it relatively safe, as you can say, when you're wheeling 150 miles in a wheelchair, but relatively safe for my life. That's kind of how it came to be. It really was, we were told they had this $150 million in debt available in Indiana. They told us how much it would take, which would be right around $1 million. And I started thinking, let's try to raise it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And, I think it just really, as we dove into it, I think Andie in particular really just realized that this was going to be a feature film, and more people started to sign on. Jeff Sparks signed on, Seth Maxwell signed on, Mike Manning, who's an actor from Indiana, who's out in Hollywood now, and he signed on, and it's been pretty amazing watching the level of interest in the film, and so it's just kind of gradually gotten bigger.
Very cool.
I should have warned you that I'm both an activist and a preacher, so I get really wordy. You can tell me to shut up if you need to.
Oh, no. Please be as wordy as possible. That's what we're all about here at Obsessive Viewer. But that's amazing that it's just that it sprang to life that way, and just the idea of doing another Tenderness Tour for medical debt and setting that goal and going for it is just so admirable in a lot of ways. I wanted to ask you about this particular Tenderness Tour, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but did you notice any differences in how you reacted to it, given having it be post your cancer journey, and how did that factor in, in terms of just your overall body to do it?
Yeah, the one thing that I really noticed is, first of all, I did really well. I kept a great pace. The body did wonderfully. The ostomy itself did wonderfully. I was very aware of it early on. I was a lot more careful about volunteers and road crew and getting people who I thought would be at least relatively comfortable should I need any kind of more personal assistance.
Oh, yeah.
There's one roadie in the film who, talks about the ostomy, and just having that level of comfort, I think really helped a lot, and really, I think, informs anything that I plan to do in the future. But I came away from it really excited. It's kind of typical. One of the things that the camera crew really noticed was that as I wheeled on, I got stronger. Because a lot of people think, you wheel 150 miles there, toward the end, you wear out. I'm kind of just the opposite. I get stronger, and that's kind of what I saw. And I came away from it just, I've always had a hard time calling myself an athlete, and I was a little more willing to accept it at the end of this tour. And, I may never be an athlete who wins a marathon, but there's a definite uniqueness to what I do, and definitely, I think, a sense of, I like to joke that Reggie Miller retired at 41. I'm still going at 60. So. Yeah.
There you go. And for the record, as someone who lives a very sedentary life, and despite my walks for Stephen King, but that 100% you're an athlete. There's no question, man. There's no question whatsoever. Just the endurance of it all is really impressive too, and just the drive. I think that's where a certain level of active or athleticism it comes into factor. There is just the drive to do it, and to do it after so long, and do it consistently so long. Like you said, it's yearly, if not more, and being able to do that, and having that drive to do it, and doing it for all the causes that you do it for is incredible. Like, I really admire that.
Thank you. You know, it's always been kind of a sense of call to me. And so when I sometimes it's an organization that I discover, sometimes it could be an email or a phone call. I mean, I've gotten invitations to do a tour. And, you know, and obviously with this one, it was just a sense of, this is a great way to amplify my messaging, to honestly build the village a little more too, because I love wheeling. I love being on the trails. And so, you know, as I get older, you know, having that support for it is helpful. And so, you know, kind of building a village that kind of believes in the dream is kind of cool. And the film, you know, is, you know, doing so much wonders. I mean, I think we've talked about, well, I don't know if we've talked, but I mean, there was kind of a spontaneous call for donations after the world premiere on Saturday. And so since the film hit Heartland on Saturday for its first screening, we've eliminated $1.6 million in medical debt.
So incredible.
You know, for Indiana, which, you know, that's less than a week. I mean, that's just amazing to me. And that tells me that people love the film. They love the mission. They're at least amused by me. I don't know if they love me, but they're certainly amused by me. So I think this film has so much potential. And of course, I'm sure Andie said it, the net proceeds of the film will support the cause, which is, I mean, how often do you get the, you know, the incredible magnitude of the people supporting this film and then say, oh, well, by the way, the net proceeds from this film are going to actually support what you want to do. So, you know, I have no doubt we're going to hit the million. And we're going to go beyond that. And I'm already kind of envisioning maybe a national effort.
That,
you know, but wheeling cross country is bucket list for me.
Oh yeah.
And with the right team, maybe. I don't know. You never know with me.
Oh yeah. You've got, like, I can never guess what's next for you, which is amazing. With that, I do want to ask, just like this is inside baseball, really, but like, what are some of your like favorite trails? Like because I know that in this documentary you go on, I believe, the Monon and Nickel Plate and some other trails throughout the area.
Oh, come on. You were supposed to name all of them, Matt.
I can't. I'm still a novice at this trails thing. I'm an indoor kid. So I'm just finding the ones around me.
Well, I used to do streets and highways, and then I reached kind of the age where I just didn't have the reflexes to do that anymore, because, you know, I would dodge traffic or, you know, have to go off into a ditch, and I can't do that anymore. So now I pretty much limit myself to trails. We also did the Pumpkin Vine, which is up in Elkhart County, and is actually my favorite trail in Indiana, probably.
Nice.
And, you know, if you come see the film, you will understand why I say that. And then we did the Cardinal Greenway, which is kind of a Marion to Muncie. And that's a great track. I went to seminary in Richmond, Indiana, and it was on the Cardinal Greenway. So I kind of fell in love with that trail. I haven't done as much in Southern Indiana since I've been only doing trails. I've wheeled to Southern Indiana. I mean, I've wheeled to Chicago 3 times. I've wheeled to Lexington, Kentucky before. I've wheeled to Cincinnati before. I've wheeled all over the country in various times. I've not gone international, though I am starting to fantasize about that.
Nice.
But yeah, so probably the Pumpkin Vine is my favorite trail. It's kind of in Amish country. Elkhart County has a very high Amish population, and you see them on their bikes because they use it to get from community to community. You know, it goes all across the county. Just a great trail, very well done, very wheelchair friendly.
Nice.
Also, really like the Nickel Plate. It's not. It can be a little challenging in a wheelchair, but I see a lot of nature. usually a lot of wildlife on the nickel plate. And now since they've extended it into Indy, it's actually like a mile from my house, which is also exciting.
Very cool. Nice. Yeah, I walked a little bit of the nickel plate last weekend. I think it was last weekend, or I don't know. Time is weird. But but yeah, but the wildlife is incredible. Like, I just passed by a squirrel and it's like it almost waved at me essentially. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
I love the nickel. But I pretty much find something to love about most trails.
Oh yeah. It's
unless they're all uphill.
Oh sure. Yeah. That yeah, that's rough.
Because I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Uphill is the beast anymore. But
sure. Do you take to the do you have a mantra where you tell people, like, if people are like younger people are trying to go on trails and stuff, do you have this whole thing where, like, well, you know, in my day, in the early days of the Tenderness Tour, the trails were uphill both ways and I did all this and everything?
There were not a lot of curb cuts in those days. You know, I remember downtown Indianapolis and just having to jump down sidewalks because they didn't have a lot of curb cuts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would do a lot of like state roads back then, a lot of sometimes country roads. In a way that was fun, you know, because you saw a lot of traffic, you saw a lot of people, and on trails, you never know. You know, if you go into the rural trails, you don't get as many people. So the fundraising is different. The activism is different, but I don't know. I sometimes miss it. You know, it's in the old days. You know, I went to like French Lick at one point, and I got pulled off the road by the sheriff because it's like these, you know, winding, you know, 2-lane roads with coal trucks coming down them, and they can't see you, and you know But I live for that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's amazing.
And I will say, I mean, I've never had anything bad happen.
Good.
I've had one backpack stolen in 35 years.
Oh, geez.
I mean, I did go over a ledge one time. I actually ended up in an emergency room.
Jeez.
But was wheeling the next day. So, because I'm bonkers. Don't do what I do. I'm not. Well, I guess I am literally a role model, but ignore that.
Fair. I'm just amazed. Like, oh yeah, you know, I fell off a ledge. I was in the ER. I'm back wheeling the next day. Like that's amazing. Yeah,
But what I really remember about that one was I ended up in this small rural hospital where I needed some medical supplies that small rural hospitals don't have. And so there was this supply company that came out at like 2 a.m., brought it to the hospital.
Wow.
Never charged me for it.
Nice.
Just a phenomenal experience. And so, you know, for every little twist or maybe bad thing that happens, you know, kind of really cool stuff would also happen. And that's always been kind of the tour.
Very nice. Yeah. And I imagine that's something that you just kind of have to take the bad with the good, but like, I mean, the positive aspects of it and I'm putting words in your mouth, I'm sure, but like just that feeling of helping and being able to do something about something that a lot of people who are affected by it through all of the causes, like the things that people are affected by, feel like they have no control over and have no sense of like a way out of it. And just the idea that like you're going about fundraising for these causes is just, it's why I felt the movie is incredibly powerful. And it's why, you know, that QR code at the end is everyone's ready. Everyone's ready to just fight it. So
that's, you know, I received one thank you note because one of the things with Undo is people are given the opportunity to acknowledge the gift. and it's anonymous, protect HIPAA and all that.
Yeah.
But I received this thank you note from a woman who had a $106 bill, paid off. A lot of us wouldn't think anything about that $106, but for her, you could just feel in the letter how much it meant to her. And yet, one of the things with undue medical debt is that for every dollar donated, we can eliminate $100 in medical debt. So that's why if I raise $1 million, we're going to eliminate over $100 million in medical debt. And so the great thing about that donation is it made me think of the number of times that a child would come up to me and hand me $1. And to think that that child paid off her debt.
Jeez. Yeah.
So
God. Putting it that way, that's incredible. Just the power of that, and just like being able to give to that kind of cause with $1 and make it be like just $1 is so significant to like to the person who wrote you the letter. Like that, that's incredible. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the film itself.
Okay.
The experience with Heartland, like this is a film that like it is like it's so great that it's at Heartland. It is absolutely just, I'm thrilled for you for that. As someone who has worked so closely with Heartland, with the Social Impact Award and being on juries and just being involved in that Heartland ecosystem, how has it been experiencing it from the like other side of it, the filmmaker, the industry side of it? Like, do you feel any more like the MVP or the VIP that you already are with them, or is this like? Is this a different thing entirely?
It's it's overwhelming. I wasn't sure that we would start at Heartland, and so when I finally heard, yes, this is going to happen, and we're going to do our world premiere at Heartland, it was pretty much an awesome feeling because I know what Heartland will do. I know how much they love the filmmakers. I know how much they love truly moving pictures. I know that they would nurture this kind of film and give it the love and the respect that it deserves, and it wouldn't get lost like it might, at a different film festival. I don't want to diss any other film festivals, but it's like I just think Heartland was such a sublime way. Plus, you get the fact that it's an Academy Award qualifying festival. It's a respected festival. So, it's not just this touchy-feely film festival. It's, the films that play here, they take a small percentage of the films. I've referred films to Heartland before, and they didn't get in. So, it's not like, Richard's word is like magic and guarantees some sort of placement. If this film sucked, it wouldn't be playing Heartland.
Yeah.
And so that's just overwhelming. And they've really lived up to that. And Greg Swervik has been amazing. Adam Howell had some amazing comments at our opening, our world premiere. And everybody at Heartland, come on. I was able to present my award at Heartland a month after getting out of the hospital for cancer. 11 days, intensive care. And, Heartland continues to say, bring it on. Let's deal with it. And that's just kind of the Heartland way. And so to be on this side of it, it feels like it's another way that I can amplify what it means to be a Heartland film. And that excites me because I love Heartland so much. I want to do everything I can to support it. And I think I do, but this is a way I certainly never expected. And it's exciting to get kind of this opportunity. And then even, raising the eliminating 1.6 million in medical debt. Beyond the fact that that's incredible, it will help a number of Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm.
It also speaks to the power of what it means to be a Heartland film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that audiences would go into that movie theater, not only just really enjoy the film and appreciate my story, but say, okay, I always say that inspiration is a verb. Don't tell me you're inspired if you're not willing to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And these audiences have proven they're willing to do something. And that's Heartland right there.
Yep. Yeah. That's so beautifully said. Like, Heartland to me, like I've had varying levels of association with it, covering it for like 10, 11 years now, which is insane for me to think. But it's just that, like, I haven't really, like, one of my bucket list things is like, oh, I would love to go to like Sundance. I would love to go to TIFF. Mm-hmm. I would love to just do the full thing with so many different like big film festivals. But like, I also feel like I know the Heartland like ecosystem. I know how they operate, how they, like, the reverence that they give to everyone there, and the kindness that is just like, that just bursts out from every part of Heartland. I'm like, do I want to go to like Sundance, or do I want to go somewhere that's like that, where I'm just going to be like, okay, this is not the same. Like, is that going to ruin like the mystique of it? But yeah, that's high praise to Heartland. I love it so much. And I'm so glad that you've had this opportunity, and that the film has had this opportunity. It's fantastic.
Well, and it's also been great for me because I'm a lifelong Hoosier. Mm-hmm. So, being able to do something that amplifies Indiana as a filmmaking state, because this film was shot in Indiana, mm-hmm. and that also is wonderful. I love Indianapolis. I love Indiana. We have our quirks, as does every place, mm-hmm. but I love this state. I've stayed here intentionally. And so if I can do something to help boost the filmmaking in this state, I want to do that. So
absolutely.
It's just perfect. I love it.
Oh, 100%. I was telling Andy that the film is beautiful because it's showing the Hoosier state. It is showing like these just massive, like the drone shots of just like even downtown, just seeing that on the big screen in this film is just so, it just really exemplifies how beautiful the state is. And like these rural mm-hmm. areas, these small communities that you find yourself in, it's just, as Andy was saying early in this episode, or yesterday if in real time, it's something that like Indiana is unfortunately kind of just like a, by and large, kind of forgettable state for a lot of people. Like it's something that's overlooked, and it's something that I just love seeing it depicted in just such a vast, expansive way. It's a gorgeously shot film.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you throw in, there's Hoosier producers involved. Mm-hmm. You've got music from Mellencamp, Harry Newcomer. This is an Indiana film.
Oh, absolutely. It is. It's incredible. It's incredible. Like even us talking about the trails and everything, like that's Indiana. That's just what it is. Yeah. Yep. So in terms of going back to kind of the history of the Tenderness Tour, I know that mm-hmm. like I've seen like the footage in the shots from years past where like it's rainy, it's like the mm-hmm. elements are getting to it. Like what sustains you in those moments where it's like, oh, this is like I'm being drenched with rain. Like how do you account for that? Like the weather, the elements of it all.
I made a decision really early on. And again, I started with child abuse prevention as the cause. Prevent Child Abuse Indiana, or what is now Prevent Child Abuse Indiana. And then I kind of segued into Indiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And for me, I decided that child abuse doesn't stop in the rain or the snow or the adverse weather, and therefore we can't stop trying to prevent it in that. I cannot let hate be stronger than love. I can't do it. And so my commitment is to keep wheeling. There are some potential reasons I would stop wheeling. If it was truly unsafe for the people around me or the cars around me, I wheeled into Evansville once during a snowstorm. And probably not the brightest decision I've ever made. Looked great on the front page, but if it had reached a point, I was able to do that because there was a wide shoulder and I could do it pretty safely. If there was a point where I was like 2 lanes and somebody's going to crash and get hurt, then I would stop. But for me, we have to keep going because love has to be stronger than hate. And love has to be stronger than medical debt. And showing up for one another, I think that people need to know that you're willing to show up. And showing up doesn't just happen when it's easy or convenient. Sometimes it's inconvenient, it's ugly, it's sweaty, it's tiring, it's even risky. But that's what, too many people don't have a person who will do that. And so I've just always wanted to be that person.
Nice. That is such a beautiful sentiment. And it's like, it's incredible. Like, that is absolutely what we need more of in the world, basically. That's really great. I was telling Andie, and again, rehashing things I've already said in this episode, but there's a scene where, like, I wish I would have grabbed one of the, like, Alamo cards to write down verbatim what you said, but you said that life is incredible and everyone deserves a great one. And, like, if that's not, like, the perfect thing to say in the face of, like, the medical debt, every cause that you've fought for and raised funds for, like, it's just such a beautiful, like, viewpoint to have. And, like, I know that, the world isn't sunny, like, everyone's not, it's not like, oh, suddenly, like, oh, everything is perfect. Like, it's an imperfect world. We're imperfect animals, imperfect, just people thrown in with consciousness in us and everything. But just, like, that idea, just, like, everyone deserves a great life. Like, it's so bottom line, cuts through everything, and it's something that I haven't been able to get it out of my mind in the 2 days since I saw the film. So I love that line. So any chance to say that again. Yeah.
Maybe I should do a book of quotes.
Yes.
Maybe that's my next book. I don't know. There were a couple of 3 or 4 times in this film where I'm like, wow, I said that? Because, of course, nothing was scripted.
Right.
So, it's me on the road, and my random thoughts, and occasionally answering interview questions spontaneously after I've wheeled 25 miles. But that's just something I so believe in. And I know, having a disability, sometimes you get really defined by it. It is intense. I've had almost 100 surgeries in my life, and it can be intense. It can be defining, and you deserve a good life. That's even a phrase that we use at work. And so we talk a lot because I work in the field of disability, and we talk about the fact that people deserve the good life, however they define that. It's different for everyone, and that's, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I define a good life as 3 podcasts, a Patreon, and a cat. That's my definition of a good life for me. So, but yeah, it's remarkable. But we should probably wind down a little bit because I don't want to take up too much more of your night or anything. Okay. But I do want to ask where people can find all of your work and everything, and I'm trying to think of anything else about the film that I should ask you about, because I've got the primo moment here. I can ask anything I want. But yeah,
I'm pretty open.
Yeah.
I think that's why they didn't tell me a whole lot, because they knew I liked to talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the film, what I would say is, first of all, come and see it. Last screening is Saturday, October 18th at the Indie Arts Center at 2:45 p.m. It is a wheelchair-friendly venue, so, there is wheelchair seating. I really want to pack the house for the last screening. There's a couple hundred seats. We've had great, amazing audiences both times. You can still see it on streaming if you're not here in Indy, and we'll see where we go from here. And, that's more Andie's, I get to be the star. She has to go do the hard stuff.
Exactly. You're the one that gets to trash the hotel rooms, and you get to put in your writer that you need, only the red M&Ms. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the star of it.
But if you want to find me, you can find my reviews at theindependentcritic.com. You can find out more about the Tenderness Tour at tendernesstour.com. I am all over social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Threads. You can even find me on LinkedIn. So, and I'm very open on social media. If you're really interested in hitting trails or volunteering, this next year, my father passed away at the end of April. And so I've really kind of committed that I'm going to spend this next year doing a lot of shorter tours too, because I really want to spend some time with people. So you're interested in hosting a tour somewhere in Indiana, give me a call, or, send me a message. I'd love to visit your town. If you're interested in volunteering, whether it's logistics or personal support, I'd love to have you. It's about creating a village of radical empathy and making Indiana a better place for everyone.
Nice. That's beautiful. Absolutely. And to that, I would say, also go see the movie, everyone listening, and be inspired by it. And as Richard said, make it a verb. Make it a verb. Make the inspiration a verb. Do something. Hopefully something involving the QR code at the end of the film. And the number 5 in the little email that you get when you screen it, for the Audience Choice Award.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Please vote for the Audience Choice Awards. We really appreciate that. We know audiences have loved it, and we hope you will too. And anyway, I'll stop talking.
Yeah. You're fine.
We could do a 7-hour pod. What's your longest podcast, Matt? Let's break the record.
That's a great question. I think our longest episode is 4 hours, I want to say.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
I love your podcast, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I
do listen to it regularly.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Now I need to go back and make sure I didn't say anything offensive about you or anything. Not that I would have.
You said I'm never going to have that footless guy on my podcast. I do remember that episode.
For the record,
you were reviewing Footloose, as I recall.
For the record, that did not happen. Please don't cancel me. But yeah, 4.5 hours was our longest one.
Wow.
That was this year. Yeah, that was the year in review episode. Yeah. Year in review episode in January. 4 hours and 23 minutes. So we've got another 3 hours to go. So what's your favorite movie of the year so far?
The Tenderness Tour.
There
that was kind of a silly question, Matt.
That absolutely was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. You probably either Sinners or the P.T. Anderson.
Oh yeah, both great. Yeah.
I think we know I'm a P.T. Well, I am a P.T. Anderson. The only filmmaker that I've always given a 4-star, and I have a 4-star scale. So
wow.
I have always given his films a 4-star. Only filmmaker
awesome.
I've ever done that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And now Andie Redwine is another one. So yeah.
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 Well, maybe 3.5.
Sure.
Only kidding. 4.5. I honestly think this is an amazing film. So I hope.
Oh yeah.
People will come out and see it one more time.
Yep. I hope so too. If you're listening to this, you will undoubtedly see me posting about it on social media for the rest of time. It's a great film. And Richard, once again, congratulations, man, and great work with all of it. It's really impressive and inspiring, and like I've been an admirer of your film journalism work for a long time now, and it's just everything that you do is just it's very inspirational as a verb. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. I'll do a whole outro later, but yeah, once again, you can follow Richard on Letterboxd as well at Richard Probst. And I have a link to all of this stuff in the show notes of this episode, which is available at obsessiveviewer.com/OV490. So once again, Richard, thank you so much for joining me and for giving me so much of your time. Best of luck on Saturday and with the rest of the film's run through the world. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Of course. Okay, and that is it for my interview with Richard for this episode, and that's it for this week's episode of The Obsessive Viewer. As always, thank you so much for listening, and make sure to follow the show on social media and subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast app. Also, check out Obsessive Viewer Podcast's other shows, Tower Junkies, a Stephen King podcast hosted by Tiny and myself, and Anthology, the Twilight Zone and classic sci-fi podcast hosted by me. Next time on the show, I'm going to have another interview from another filmmaker at Heartland, so that should be coming up soon. Next week, I might do a post-Heartland thing. We'll see, but I'm looking to also review The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, I think, and I can't remember what the other one was. That was good. The main one. A sequel. Black Phone 2. I think that's going to be the feature review next week. So we'll see. That's always subject to change. Go check out Richard's movie, The Tenderness Tour, at heartlandfilm.org. And thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. And now, enjoy this short clip from a recent Patreon exclusive episode. For the full episode and more Patreon exclusive content, sign up at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Escape of his humanity, essentially. And I loved the comparison to the mule with the carrot in front of him, because mules don't want to work if they don't have like an incentive, a carrot. And Olsen has now forgotten, or is no longer interested in the carrot, so he is going to lose it very quickly. And it's heartbreaking, it's horrifying. It is this like the build up to that, and the build up of... Thank you for listening to the Obsessive Viewer podcast. This episode was produced and edited by me, Matt Hurt. If you have feedback, thoughts on our episodes, or just want to connect, you can email me at matt@obsessiveviewer.com. For more information on this show, including a full archive of our episodes and show notes, visit obsessiveviewer.com. And if you enjoyed the show, please give us a follow on social media and subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice so you never miss an episode. Also, consider rating and reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Audible to help increase our visibility and grow our community. If you want to support the show and get early access to new episodes, as well as a steady stream of exclusive episodes, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. For information on more podcasts presented by obsessiveviewer.com, visit obsessiveviewer.com/podcasts. Our theme song is A Little Mad Sometimes by As Good As It Gets. For more of their music, check them out on Spotify and at asgoodasitgetsmusic.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn. Check out the show notes for your promo code to get started podcasting today.